Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we've got an extra special one. I'm going to try every flavor of vanilla ice cream that I can find at the local supermarkets. Settle in and let's get into it. Let's meet today's contenders. Now, because there's too many products for today's episode, I'm just going to limit myself to the value products. Here's a table I prepared earlier. Value products are everything under $4 per litre. Right, I'm going to start from the products with the best value scores and working all the way down to the ones that offer the worst value for money. First up, the Aldi generic vanilla. So the Aldi generic vanilla ice cream is called Milfina. They do not offer this in a 2 litre container, so you're forced to buy the 4 litres. Here are the ingredients. All right, initial impressions of the Aldi Milfina. It's very watery. Why I say watery, you can see there's a lot of bubbles left behind. The texture of the ice cream is not that creamy. You get the sense there's quite a lot of ice flakes in the ice cream itself. It tastes more like eating ice flakes and a bit of milk flavoring. This one gets 1 out of 10. Up next, the Coles Simply Vanilla. Now, do be aware, this says flavored frozen dessert. That is not a good indication that this is actually ice cream. Real ice cream must contain at least 10% milk fats. Clearly, there's not enough of those ingredients for this to be advertised as ice cream. Anyways, let's try this product, which cannot claim to be a real ice cream. How does this taste? Not very good. The texture is nothing like ice cream. By that I mean, seems to be a lot of air bubbles in here. Again, it tastes watery. It doesn't have the richness that ice cream should have. If real ice cream or a rich ice cream was a mud cake, this tastes more like a sponge cake. That's how much difference there is between this and a high-end ice cream. Between this one and the Aldi one, this one's noticeably worse, considering it's not even officially ice cream. It gets half a point for trying, and that's being generous to it. Up next, the Woolies vanilla ice cream. Just very quickly, this one does claim to be vanilla flavored reduced fat ice cream. Okay, that is an improvement. It's certainly starting to taste a bit more like real ice cream. Still has the same problem. The texture and the consistency, it's just a bit too airy. It's also not very rich, which means it doesn't have that dense, creamy sort of taste. At least it's an improvement over the Aldi and the Coles versions. 2 out of 10. Up next, the Peters Original. This one also claims to be reduced fat ice cream. It just means the cream content is quite low. The Peters Original now at least is starting to have the consistency of real ice cream. That is a noticeable improvement. It's a little bit on the sweet side for me. However, this is now certainly heading the right direction. It's not quite there, but this is a value product after all. This one gets a pass, 5 out of 10. Up next, the Monarch Silver Scoop. This product is actually from Aldi Supermarket. Now, finally, a product that actually contains cream. This is showing 15% cream, and as such, some bonus points will go to this one. Let's see how it tastes. The texture and consistency is quite good. Step in the right direction. It's certainly starting to taste like real ice cream. The overall balance I don't think is quite there. The sweetness is not overpowering. Whilst the texture is good, the flavor itself is not very creamy. The sweetness is a little artificial, which I don't really enjoy. Nothing about this is very memorable. It's one of those things, you taste it and you forget about it. 5.5 out of 10. Up next, the Bulla Real Dairy Vanilla. Quick look at the ingredients. It does show 8% real cream is used. Let's see how it tastes. The texture and the consistency of the ice cream is quite good. Doesn't taste watery or airy. The sweetness is well judged. It's not too sweet, but it doesn't really stand out either. It is somewhat creamy, but then again, so it should be, considering that it does contain real cream. Overall, this is a solid choice. It does everything really well. 6 out of 10. Up next, Norco, Australian farmer owned classic vanilla. This one does not indicate how much cream is actually used. Let's see how it tastes. This one suffers the same problems as the other ones we've had earlier. Texture's a little bit airy, like there's ice crystals in there as well. Now, this does claim no artificial colors or flavors. In saying so, the sweetness is a little bit artificial tasting, unfortunately. Best I can give it, 4 out of 10. Up next, Street's Blue Ribbon Light Vanilla. It's claiming to be 97% fat-free. It does not indicate how much cream is actually used in here. Let's see how it tastes. Being that it's low fat, the consistency of the ice cream does still taste a little bit on the airy side of things, but it does taste a little bit more creamy than before. This is definitely another step forward in terms of flavor from all the ones we've tried so far. The sweetness is also well judged. This particular ice cream definitely stands out over the ones we've had so far. This is probably one of the first ones that I feel is semi-memorable. Okay, the Street's Blue Ribbon. This one gets a 7 out of 10. Up next, another Street's Blue Ribbon. This time, the classic vanilla. Quick look off the ingredients. Again, it does not indicate how much cream is actually used in here. It's now higher in fat, but let's see how it tastes. Finally, we're getting somewhere. I am a fan of this one. It's very creamy. Consistency of the ice cream is nice. It's starting to get quite thick, which is good. The sweet vanilla flavor, also very well judged, very well balanced. Overall, this is definitely the one that I've enjoyed the most so far. 8 out of 10. If you enjoy a nice creamy and thick ice cream, this is probably the bare minimum you would have to go for. Up next, Peter's Light and Creamy French Vanilla. This one is 97% fat-free. Now, just really quickly, this one again does not indicate how much fresh cream or milk is in here. It just indicates that it does have it. In saying so, it is low on fat at 2.8 grams. Importantly, let's see how it tastes. The French vanilla I do enjoy, but in terms of the texture and the creaminess of this ice cream, doesn't rank it highly for me. I prefer it a bit more creamy than this. This might suit someone who perhaps doesn't like a strong dairy flavor. For me, the best I can do is 7, which is very similar to the Street's Blue Ribbon Light Vanilla. Up next, the Peter's Light and Creamy Classic Vanilla. Just in terms of ingredients, from what I can tell, these two are near identical. Let's find out if the Classic Vanilla tastes better than the French Vanilla. Having now tried both of the light and creamy vanilla flavors, whether it's French Vanilla or Classic Vanilla, the French Vanilla is a little bit sweeter than Classic Vanilla, but there's very little difference between them. So which one you prefer is all going to come down to personal preference. They both get 7 out of 10. All right, time for a summary. So for today, we did all the value products. I'll be doing the premium products in the next episode, so stay tuned. Out of all the value products, I feel the Street's Blue Ribbon are probably two of the best options. Look at the scores here. The Blue Ribbon Classic Vanilla. This one scores the highest out of all the value products. Followed closely by, and this is quite a surprise, the Aldi Silver Scoop. The Silver Scoop has a high cream content. As such, it's got some bonus points. Other honorable mentions, the Bulla Generic Vanilla. And finally, Peter's Light and Creamy. Both French and regular vanillas get exactly the same score. The only downside to this one, instead of 2 litres, you're getting 1.8 litres. And that's a wrap for the value vanilla products. Thank you for watching. I'll see you for the next one, where I'll try all the premium vanilla products.